Hello guys, welcome to another video here at AppSheet and more. In this video, we're going to look at how you can create a monthly tracker like this using AppSheet. So right here, we have a tracker for members of a group, can be staff, can be students, anything you want to track on a monthly basis, right? And then over here, we have the years, and then we have the names of the individuals we are tracking against. So the main tracker is here. It shows you their names over here. It shows you the year. Then it shows you the month spread out as columns, right? And the good thing about this is you can zoom in, you can filter with these selectors. So you can select a year, and then you see the individuals for that particular year. Okay, you can also unclick that by clicking the same thing you selected, and then you can select a particular name, so Alika, and you can see all entries made for that person for various years, right? Spread out across the month. So over here, you can see her payments in 2025, and then it flows all the way to 2026, right? Good. You can also zoom into one particular year for that person. So I can select 2026 Alika, and I can see just her involvement in 2026. Good. Now, the good thing is you can also make entries, right? So I'm going to unclick this and that, get the full data, and I'm just going to enter a new record. So I'm going to click the dates, select a person over here. Let's see. There's someone who looks suspiciously like Barack Obama, Nehru. And then you have the duration type. So you can select single month or multiple months. Okay, so single month means you're just recording for one particular month here. So it says, please select any date. You can select any day in the month of entry. So I'm going to select, let's say February 2026. Right, good. It indicates the years that are involved, right? I'm going to click this and I'm going to click save. Good. So you have something like this. So narrow for 2026. Good. Let's try multiple month selection. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to select narrow again. Narrow. Good. This time, multiple months. Let's try from 2025. So I'm going to come here to 2025, July. And let us span all the way to 2026 May. Okay, so span all the way to 2026 May. Check this. I'm going to click save. Good. So I have the first entry I made and the subsequent two entries. Now see, look at what AppSheet does. So once this fully syncs, AppSheet is going to merge the two to make sure that I do not have duplicates in there. So I'm just going to have 2026 and then 2025. You can sort this to make sure that the 2025 always comes on top, then your 2026 what follows. But yeah, that's basically how it works. You get it? And then you can make entries to change something in there. So I can change February to April from checks to X's. So I can just click on the plus as well, come back here now, and say multiple months, February in this case to, let's say, April. Right? He actually didn't make payments. Okay. So this is going to sync in and then it's going to use this to replace these three over here. So you're going to have 2025 and then 2026. Good. So guys, this is the journey we want to go into. This is actually the tab view. Let me quickly show you the mobile view. The mobile view looks something like this. I'm not a big fan of how it looks in the mobile view, but it's also very interactive, right? So you can select the year over here at the top, and then over here you can see the members, and then you can select a particular member. If it's no member over there, you have a blank, but if there's someone over there, you see over here. So Nehru, we have this record over here. I think if I sync in, I'm going to get all the records I just made for Nehru. Good. So I have this 2026 payment over here. Of course, I selected 2026. Fine. Uncheck this. I have 2025 and 2026 for now. Good. So the mobile view is also interactive, but my favorite is the tab view. So guys, let's see how we can do this in AppSheet. All right, so we are currently in AppSheet. We're going to be using this app I created. So what we have over here is basically staff and quarter performance. I think I created an app where we display quarterly performance of staff using donut charts. I'll leave the link in the video so you can actually watch if you want to learn from that. But then over here, we're going to use is the staff names, and then we're going to create the contributions. So the staff are going to be our members basically of this app we want to create. Good. So first thing we need to do is to go back to our data source. So I'm going to click here. Good. And I'm going to include a couple of sheets. right? I'm going to click the first one. First sheet is going to call contribution. This is going to actually capture the contribution entries we're making, what you saw in the form. Good. Second one is going to be called the tracker. The third one is going to have our years. When we click this, and enter years. Good. So we have contributions tracker and then years. Good. Now, let me just show you what we are trying to work towards so that it gives you a good perspective. Okay. So over here, this is the tracker, but let me first come to the contribution. This is the completed version. Let me increase the sheet size. Good. So we have a sheet where we enter just the records, right? The reason why we have a separate sheet for this and then a separate sheet for the tracker is because of the multiple years that you can have entries spanning across. Good. So we have the individuals or the user making these entries over here, right? Good. And then what happens is that we take this data using AppSheet actions to translate it into something like this. So we have the ID over here. We have the contribution ID with links to the contribution table. We have the user's name. We have the year. And then we have the months spanning all the way from January to what? To December. Good. And then you have the checkboxes over there. Now, the good thing about this is you can apply this learning to, let's say, amounts. Individuals are making monthly payments. You can use this to make sure that the payments are inputted instead of the checkboxes. I'm just using checkboxes to keep it simple. Good. Now, over here, we have a very unique ID. You see, the ID is a combination of the person's name and the year. The idea behind this is because we want to make sure that every year has just one entry for each individual. So if you have multiple entries, what happens is AppSheet combines everything into one record. You get it. Whatever new changes you've made is added to the existing record. Good. So that's how we're going to make our action work. Good. In the contribution table, like I said, these are the columns we have over there. And then for years, we have a list of years that we are working with. Okay. But you can have as many as you want. For years, what we're going to do is we're going to filter only the years that have at least a record or entry in there. You get it. Good. So that's how we're going to do it. So I'm going to come here and then I'm going to start with this. So contribution, increase our spreadsheet over here. Good. So we have ID. That's the first field we have over here. Good. Then we have dates. Next one is dates. And then we have the name of the individual. We have the duration type. Good. So whether it's single month or multiple month entries. Good. And then we have what? Start month. We have end month. And then we have the status. The status can also be what? Amount. Again, if you want to use an amount instead of status, you can freely do that. Good. And a tracker, we have our ID. ID over here. Then we have our contribution. Contributions ID. Good. And then the next thing we have is what? Our name. Good. Then we have our year. Good. And then we have our months spanning January, February. Now, the beautiful thing about using spreadsheet is we have custom list in there. So I can just drag this all the way to December. Last one, December. Good. So we have this for our tracker. Good. And then years, you're just going to have a year over here. We're just going to have 2025, 2026. And I'm going to drag this down all the way to, let's say, 50. Okay. Click this. Good. So we have something like this. Next 25 years, at least this up. It should be good enough. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring these tables into AppSheet editor. Good. So we'll come here to our app over here. We're just going to click this. First, let's refresh this to make sure that all the tables reflect the new tables we've added. That's us. Good. Now we click on this. I'll click on this table. Then I'll switch it to the tables I'm interested in. Contributions. Add that. Click on this plus. Select tracker. Click on this plus. Select years. Good. So we have contributions, we have quarter performance, we have staff, we have tracker, and we have years. Good. Now we need to work on each of them to make sure that they are pulling. Need to work on each of them to make sure that the data types are correct. Good. So we come here to contributions. ID is going to be text. We want it to be random, so we'll leave it as that. And that's also the key, which is good. Then we have dates being dates. Okay, that's also fine. But for ID, I don't want it to show. Good. Now the next thing is dates is dates. That's fine. That's good. Name, I'm going to make this a ref. Good. And then I'm going to make this a ref from the staff table. Good. Click done over here. Duration is going to be an NU. Good. And then I'm going to select over here single month. And then we're going to have multiple months. Okay, done. Good. Start date is going to be a date. But then what I want to do is I want to change the display name, right? So if I select single month, it should just read as month, not start month, right? But if I select multiple months, then it should read as start month. Okay. So I'll come here to display name. I'm going to say if duration type equals to single month, then this should be if it's equal to multiple months rather, then the name should be start month. Else, the name should just be what? Month. So the month the person is paying for. Good. So that is saved. I'm going to click here, done. Okay. Then I'm going to come here, end month. So for end month, what I'm going to do is I don't want it to show unless you are dealing with multiple months, right? If you're doing a single month, you just want the start month to show. Click here, and I'll say duration type is equal to multiple months. Okay, good. That's the first thing I need to do here. The second thing I also need to do here is in relation to the initial value. Okay, so it always says the initial value is today. Do you get it? But then you know that the end month cannot be beyond the start month or before the start month, right? Good. The end month must either be the same month or set subsequently. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to say that if duration type is equal to single month. Now, when the duration type is equal to single month, the user is not going to see this particular field. Do you get it? So we need to set it for the user. So we're going to say that the end month is automatically going to be the EO month, the last day of the month of the start month. Do you get it? So if it's a single month and the user selects maybe 5th February, right? And then currently we're in January. Do you get it? We have to make sure that the end month, even though the user cannot see it, is set to the last day of February because he's working with February. Good. So I'm going to close this. Other than that, you can just give me today because if it's multiple months, he's going to see it as today and he's going to have the liberty to tweak it. So I'm going to click here, save. Good. And then I'm going to say for data validation, right? This month must always be, so end month must always be greater than or equal to year month, start month, 0. Do you get it? So if the person is going to select what's the word? If the person is going to select multiple, the end month and the start month, the end month must be at least the end and the last day of the month that the person has selected as the start month. It can be before, right? It can be any other day. It should be the last day or more. Okay, I'm going to click save. Good. I'm going to click done over here. So we have these in place. We've set this up. Fantastic. Let's do for status. Okay, for status, I'm going to say EO month. I'm just going to add over here checkboxes. So I have them over here. So the command for this in MacBook is Control Command and then spacebar. For Windows, I think it is Windows V. Yeah. And here I'm going to use the X. If you want to search for them, I've used it several times. That's why it's already in my recent. But if you want to search for them, what you can use is check. You search check, you see the green check over here. You can also type green. It will pop up over here. And then you can use red. And then red, you see what is it? You see that over there. Good. Again, like I said, we are using status, but we can use amount. Anything will work. Good. Okay, so we have this in place. Let's see how it looks like. So let's come to views. And then we're going to come to contribution form, show in preview. Good. So this is what we're working with. So we have our date over here. You can select an individual leaker. Duration, I want the duration to be, left and right buttons. So I'm going to click on this, click here. We're going to make this buttons right here, click done. Good. Months, this is just start month, okay, good. Status, let's just save this and see how it looks like. Good. So let's try this again. So single month, we have just month here. Multiple month, we have this over here. Good. So that's what I'm saying. If I try to save this, like this, try to save this, I should get an error, no? Because this should be at least the last day of the current month or subsequent month. Do you get it? Good. So I can put an error message over here just to make people realize why you have an error. The end date, so the end date or end month must be at least the next month after the start month, like this. So the end month must be at least the next month after the start month. Good. Now, also one thing people might struggle with is knowing that you can select basically any day within that particular month. So we can add a virtual column, which I think will be very helpful for people to know that, oh, as an kind of guided instruction, when you say additional info, we're going to come here like this. We're going to click save, click here show. The show type is what we use for these kind of things. I'm going to select text. Good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in double quotation, use the danger or caution or warning sign. Just double click. Again, the shortcut is Control Command Space Bar on Mac and then Windows V. No, is it Windows V? Windows V or Windows dots. One of the two for the shortcut to the emojis. Yeah, good. So now we have this in place. I'm going to say that please select any day of the month you'd like to choose. Something like this. We're going to click save, click done. Do you get it? Now what we'll do is we'll come here to views, okay? And then under menu, under manual, for column order, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this before the start month so users kind of appreciate what I'm speaking about. Let me save this first. Okay, it's here, additional information. Let me bring it up. Okay, please. So please select any day of the month you'd like to choose. Yes, so it helps users understand, oh, okay, I can select any day of the month I'm interested in. It doesn't matter. Okay, now this is all done. I also want to make sure I make these things required. So users cannot enter without saving. So I'm going to make basically everything required. Good. So name is required, duration is required, start month is required, and then the status is also required. Good. So let's see. So Alika, let's say single month. We have this over here. Then we click save. Good. So this is syncing in. I've not created a view for the table, but then at least I want to see how it'll look like. Show in preview. If I do this, Alika again, multiple months. So this is the start month, this is the end month. Good, good. So if I try to save this, I get an error. Okay. So I can switch this up, come down, let's say match. And then I'll just use the sky this time around. Okay, and let's see. All right, good. So maybe we would like to create, let's say, a contribution table just to give us a feel of what we are working with. But we'll actually not view or show this in the completed version. Good. So I'm going to take this when it comes to contributions. We have Alika, single month. Here, good. So here, and year month was empty. That's strange. Let's save this. I expected month to have I expected end of month to have a value because over here and auto compute, we said if it's single month, starts month 0, Okay, let's try another one. I'm not sure why that's empty. So write single month, come down to March, save contributions. Good. Month is still empty. All right, in any case, it still doesn't affect what we're going to do ultimately because in a single month, we don't need end of month anyway. I'm just a little surprised it's empty. Okay, so let's move on. So we have the contributions done. Now we want to create the data labels or the data types for our tracker. So over here we have ID, which is going to be a unique name. I'm going to come here, I'm going to say auto compute this. Good. This is going to be a combination of two things, right? It's going to be a combination of the name, okay, ampersand, like this. And we're combining this with our year. Click save. Click done. Good. Now for contribution ID, this is going to be a ref. Good. And it's going to be a reference to our contributions table. That's quite simple. Now name is also going to be a ref. Now this is going to be a ref to staff. Done. Good. Now over here we have year, that's date, but then we're going to make a number over here. Good. And then for January to December is text, okay, because we have text values coming there. But if it was amounts, we will change this to number. All right, good. So let me just save this. Okay, there's an error over here. Was a problem. Okay, we need to take out this formula over here. Okay, then I'm going to take off this 1000 separator, click done, click save. Good. So we have this done. That was actually quite fast. The next thing we're going to do is going to work on our years. So for our years, I don't want to have 1000 separator over here. I'm going to click done over here. That's pretty much about it. Also, the years here should reference the years we have over there. So let me change this to ref. And then I'm going to come to the years table. I'm going to select the years over there. Good. I'm going to click save. So quickly, we've also done this as well. Now let's create a view, a table view, and then let's see how it looks like for our tracker, for this monthly tracker. And I'm going to change this to the tracker table. I'm going to move this table. Okay, so there are no entries over here. Let me just enter something over here. Let's make this one. Okay. No, let's see, 25. Okay, let me click save. Good. So the monthly tracker, you have this, you have the name, you have the ID. Oh, let me save this. Let's use tab view. That's better. Okay, so monthly tracker, we have the name, we have the ID, contribution year, January, February, March, April, May, June. Good. I personally do not like the month showing in full like this. So I like to separate, so I like to make it simple using JFM, April, May, June, instead of using the full thing. All right, but then let's just keep it as is, and then let's just work with that. So we have this, but if you wanted to change it, what you do is you'd have come to display name over here, and then you can just put J here for display name, and then instead of January, you just have J, right? Good. But on hindsight, let's just keep it as January. Okay, and then let's just work with that and let's see how that also would work. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to put in our actions to make sure that when we make entries into our contribution table, it also creates a record in our tracker table that will relate to the contribution we just recorded. Good. So I'll come here to actions. I'm not sure why I'm calling it contribution table, by the way. It's because probably the main reason why I wanted to do this was for a contribution tracker. Okay, so we have here, and then we come here to contributions. We want to click create a new action. I'm going to call this new record in monthly tracker. Good. So it's just going to add a new record, add a new row to another table. We'll say we're adding a row to the tracker table. Good. Now the ID is going to be the name from the contribution table concatenated, like we said, with the year. Problem is in the contribution table, there is no year. So I guess we need to create what the year. So I'm going to go back there and then we'll quickly create the year. Let me close this up, contributions, and then I'm going to add here. Good, I'm going to say years. Good. Now, we could have multiple years because we could have multiple years. So we need to make sure that the years that are selected are, what I mean is, so we could have more than 1 year. Someone can select from 2025 to 2026. So 2025 must show up, 2026 must show up as well. Someone can select from 2025 to 2029. Do you get it? So in that case, 2025, 6, 7, 8, and 9 must show up. So what we want to do is we want to create a formula that will pull all the years from the year table. So we're going to say select, right, years, year, where now we're going to say that the year field in the year table, one is greater than or equal to the year, the source of year over here as a function, right, of the start month, right, and AND. Let me copy this guy. Come on here, paste this. The year is less than or equal to the year of the end month. Like this. So the person selects 2025 to 2026, you have the year that is all years that's greater than or equal to 2025, all years that's greater than or equal to 2026. In that sense, you have 2025 and 2026. Good. So that works. The only issue is that if the person selects the same year for both of them, then you have 2025 repeating twice. So in that case, we use the function unique. Like this. Click save, click done. Good. So let's see how this will actually work. So we come to contributions, click here. Right, multiple months, this. Okay, it's not popping up here. Probably I need to save it first, and then I have to include it. Okay, I have an error. Yeah, that's fine. Let's delete this guy. We're going to delete this guy for now. We'll come here to views, contribution, showing preview. Oh, let me save this. Okay, so I need to come here to the form view, and then I need to bring in, I need to bring in years. Okay, good. I just want to show over here what the years look like. So when I select multiple, when I select, let's say 2026, 2026 is still the same year. Let's say 2029. Good. So you see 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, right? So that's what I want to do. I want to pull in all the related years. Good. So that's why I want to have this list over here. It helps us. Good. Now, because we have 4 years, that means we need to create 4 records. You get it? Or we need to have or edit 4 records. So 4 entries have to be made to 4 different lines. Good. So we're going to have that in place. I'm going to discard this. Good. Now come here. Over here in the contribution, we have years. Now we're going to create another field that's going to call year to pick. Now, the reason why I'm calling this year to pick is because even though we have the 4 years, the app needs to know which year it should currently pick out of the four when it's running the code. Do you get it? So we're going to say that index. Index allows you to pick the value in a list. So we're going to have our years. Good. And then which year should it pick? Okay. Now to do that, we're going to count. Okay, we're going to do a count of related tracker records. So let me pick related tracker. I'm going to say ID. Good. So what this is going to do, this is going to validate, it's going to count in the related tracker for this particular individual or for this particular entry, contribution entry you've made, right? You want to count and see how many entries are there. You get it? Good. Now, if it's 0, what it means is that this should pick the first one. So we're doing +1. Good. If it enters the first record, then it is going to become +2. And it's going to pick the second year in the list. If it enters the third record, it's going to do +1. That's going to be 4 and pick the fourth item in the list. Good. So this is a very useful virtual column we're going to be using. You get it? So click save for now. So currently, because it's 0 over there, it's picking the very first item in the list. So we're going to come here to actions, and then what we're going to do is try to create this action again. So we're going to say add new record to tracker. Let's just make it to tracker. Good. That over here, and then tracker over here. Good. So now ID is going to be equal to name. Combine it with year to pick. You get it? Good. Save. Now the next thing is going to be contribution ID is just going to become contribution ID, right? Just going to become ID, right? The ID of the contribution table. Good. And then the next one is going to be name. Yeah, it's going to be name like you guessed. Now we come to the fun part. Now year is going to be just year to pick. Okay. The reason why I'm using year to pick, we want it to be dynamic. And then now we get to the months. Good. Now for the months, the formula is going to be a bit interesting, okay? Remember, we are doing two things. If there's no record in there, we want it to provide the value that the person has just entered as the status. Okay, if there's amount. But if there's already an existing value over there, what we want it to do is we want it to bring that existing value or like return that existing value in the new record or the updated record we are doing. Do you get it? Good. So we're just going to say if. Now, like we said, the date has to fall within the start month and then the end month. Do you get it? So if the date falls between the start month and the end month, so we're going to say start month, right, is greater than or equal to, no, start month is less than or equal to. So in the start month to this year, start month is less than or equal to. Now we're going to say EO month, okay, dates. Good. Now we're going to create the dates that we're looking at for January. So for January, it's going to be 1/1 concatenated with the year to pick. So for 1st January 2020, 2025, 2026, 1/1 like that, like this. Now year month, I need to bring 0. Good. So what is going to make is 31st January 2025, right? Good. Now we have this. So if this is less than or equal to, so if January is, let's say, 2nd January, and it's less than 31st January 2025, that's the first option. And we're going to say end month, right, is greater than or equal to, I'm going to copy this as well. And I'm going to paste this over here. But this time around, I'm going to make it just 1st January 2025. I'm not going to use EO month because I wanted to make sure that it doesn't go beyond that. Okay, so end month like this. Let me take this guy out. Oops. So let me bring my AND function here. I've got that. Good. So we have and function. Start month is less than or equal to the EO month of January. Good. And then the end month is less or equal to the first month, the first day, which is 1st January 2025. Good. In that case, we make sure both sides are covered. Then we're going to say what status as the value to result, as the value to bring. You get it? So if it falls between these two, bring status. Otherwise, you should leave it as blank, like this. You get it? Good. Now, if it leaves a blank, the problem is if there's already a value over there, it's going to clear that value. So let's say we've already made some entries for that particular year or for January that year, and then it does the lookup. Do you get it? And then it doesn't find January within the period we selected. It's going to return blank. So we're going to say that instead of returning blank, why don't you return the value that's already existing for January? If January is already blank, then it will return blank. But if there's a value there for January, it's going to return that. So we're going to rather use what? Lookup. Good. And we're going to say that, okay, we're going to create the key again, name concatenated with year to pick. Did you get it? So that's our lookup value. Now we're going to look up this in a tracker table. Good. And then we want to compare this to our ID. So our ID is our lookup array. And then we want to return the value in what? In January. Like that. Good. So we have something like this. We need to bring an ampersand over here. Good. So this will make sure that if there's already an existing value for January, it will bring that existing value and put it here. Other than that, it will leave this as blank. Did you get it? Good. So I'm just going to do this for a couple of other months. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to click save. Come here, February, paste this here. Right, start month. In this case, 2 for February. 2 for February. And I'm going to change this to, oh, sorry. 2 over here. And I'm going to change this to Feb. Like that. Right, copy this, save, come here to March, and then let's paste this over here. Okay, so this is 3 for March, 3 for March. And let's save this. Good. So let's test this out to make sure it's working before we go all the way to December and have an issue. So we have all this in place. Come to contributions. Now, what we're going to do is we need to add this action button to the contributions form. So when it saves, it runs that action. So come here to view, contribution form, come here to under behavior, say form saved. So I should run this. Let's click save. Let's see. Good. So if I select a name, let's select Ado, multiple. So let's say January to, I'm going to click this. We have only 3 March. So let's just click this. Click this guy. I'm going to hide this. Don't worry. Click save. Okay. So come to monthly tracker. So we have Ado over here. Okay. So like you see, we have January, February, March. Nothing happened. But at least the good thing is the ID popped up, which is good. Contribution ID, okay, is there. The year is also there, but then January, February, March didn't pop up. Okay, so at least we know that some parts of it is working, some parts is not. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's look at this formula again. So it says start month is less than or equal to this. If we selected any date in January, this is going to give you the last day in January. Oh, interesting. I see. I just noticed that. So the issue is currently that there has to be slashes over here. I know, right? Crazy. Okay, so I'm going to make the same changes for the other months as well. Let's save this. Okay, so February, we're just going to come here and just slash in there, slash here. save, March, slash here, slash there, save. Good. So let's try this again. I'm going to click this plus. Oh, hold on. Let me just save this first. So we're going to save this and then we're going to try it again. Let's see if this time around we have some luck. Okay. So we're going to come here. I'm going to come here and let's select someone else. Sunder, multiple months. Not April. We are doing it way too much for now. I'm going to click save. Monthly tracker, Sunder. Good. So now it's flowing. Okay. Neat. All right. So now this is actually working. So well, now that we know that it works, we can comfortably go around copying this and pasting it for everyone. So I'm going to copy this, click save, and then I'm going to come here to April, paste this, change this to 4, change this as well to 4, and then I'm going to call this well April. So you need to do this slowly, methodically to make sure you don't miss anything. So this is May. This is going to be 5. This is also going to be 5. And I'm going to change this to May. I also like to copy the most current one I just did. So I know that I'm actually doing the right thing. I'm in a sequence. So June. And I'm going to paste the value for May. Change this to 6. Change that to 6. And then change this to what? To June. Copy that. Move on to the next one. July. Paste this to 7. 7. And then July. Like that. Good. All right, to copy this. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to complete everything and then just move on to the next part of the video. Okay, so this is just for December. I just completed that of December. So I have from January all the way to December. Good. Now, when I make any entry across these months, this should nicely tuck in and then have everything done. Good. Now, let's try this. Contributions, let's say for Ford. Okay, I'm going to select this. Let's select multiple months as usual. Just scroll down. Can go all the way to September. Or let's just use X. We always use the green. Let's use the X. Let's see. Okay, so Ford and the monthly tracker. We have January, February, March, X, 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 all the way to September, October, November, December are left blank. Right? Good. Now we have that done nicely. The next thing we need to do is this is just for single month. What about multiple months? Right? Good. Now we need to actually create a loop. Okay, and then I have several videos that have loop in them. I have an original video. One of my first video is how you can create a loop in AppSheet. I'm going to leave the link so you can watch that. But then we're going to do that over here. We're going to create a loop. Okay. So before we create a loop, we need to create an action button that will know for how long the loop has to run. Okay, the loop can run in perpetuity. Okay, it has to run for a certain duration. Good. Now, to do this, we're going to rely on two things. We're going to compare the number of years we have. Person select the number of years. So I'm going to say count years. You get it. So if the person is selected from 2025 to 2029, we're going to have, let's say, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 5 years. So we want this loop to run for as long as 5, which is the count of years, is greater than, okay, is greater than the count of the number of records related in the tracker. So related tracker records. You get it? So as long as the number of years, 5, is more than the number of related records, we should keep running. Good. So I'm going to click save, and that is going to be in place. So that is the first thing you need to do whenever you're creating a loop. Create the action that actually does what you want to happen. Good. Now the next thing you want to do is, let's first hide before the next thing. Good. The next thing you want to do is just simply duplicate this guy. Okay. I'm going to call this add tracker. This is going to be the loop. Is that okay? Good. Now in the loop, what we're going to do is basically come and create say a group of actions, and then put what you just did in that group. That's a loop. Good. Now I'm going to duplicate this. And this guy is going to be the repeat. Is going to do the repeating. Good. Now what we want to do is we want to execute an action on a set of rules. So we come here to execute an action on a set of rules. We select contribution. Now our reference is going to be list. We're going to say underscore this rule. Like that. Basically it. Okay. And we're going to select your loop. You get it? And then you come back to your loop and you put your repeat in there. Now, this is what's going to cause it to loop until the behavior ends it because the condition has been met. Good. Now that we have this in place, we'll come back to our view, contribution form, and then instead of having add new tracker over there now, we're going to have our loop in there. And we're going to click save. Okay. Let me hide the years. I keep saying I'm going to hide this guy. Don't show. Click them. Okay, so if I come here and I select write, select multiple months, select, let's say, from 2025 March, okay, to, let's say, 2028 July, he's attended or he has paid all. Click that sync monthly tracker. So you have write. See, so you have 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, and then it just does everything you need it to do. It's crazy, right? The power loops have in AppSheet. Good. So this has just quickly synced in there. You have 2025. So now the 2025 is at the top here because there's already a record for 2025. It's at the top here. And then it flows in 2026, 2027, 2028. And then you get it. Good. Now, if I add an entry, okay, for the same person, let me come here. And let's say I add an entry over here, right? I'm going to say multiple months. Don't worry, I know we've not tried the single months. So 2026, let's say he didn't attend for a couple of them. Let's save this. So let's say for 2026, I just entered a record for 2026. Yeah, good. Let me make this tablet so you actually appreciate it. So 2026, we have this, that, and we have blanks. Okay, good. I think this was actually a very good observation. So you can see that here, the 2026 values have what? Disappeared, right? Let's save this. Okay, so what are we missing? Why is our 2026 values disappearing? Good. So over here, we have a lookup function that's supposed to pick. So we said name, month, year to pick. Name and that's name concatenated with year to pick. Tracker ID, January. Okay, I'm not too sure why this is happening, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this. I'm going to take this out over here, and I'm going to create a version of it in the contribution table. At this point, I think it has something to do with the ID. So let's come here. Let's create a virtual column. Let's say add virtual column over here. I'm going to say contribution ID. Font ID. I'm going to paste this here. Right, and I'm going to refer to it instead of doing the calculation or doing the formula over there. Okay, so we'll come here and then I'm going to change this to font ID. So like this, let me just copy this guy. And then I have to do this for every month. So February, I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I'm just going to do the same thing for all of them. So I'm going to pause it over here, and then I'm just going to skip to the very end. Okay, so see you guys when I'm done. All right, so the last one for December, I'm just going to put this over here as well. Click save and save this. Okay, so I've tried so many times to write. I don't even know if I'm going to leave that in the recording, but then let's try this again. So Ford, no, I need to pick someone who actually has a record in 2026. Okay, Sander, good. Sander has a record in 2026. Okay, so let's try Sander in 2026. So he has January, February, March. I want to do May, April, May, June. I'm going to make them red. So hopefully this change should solve this problem. April to June. Okay, save. Sander. It worked. All right. So creating a virtual column for the ID actually worked. I'm not sure why 2026 in particular is not picking. I don't know if it's a bug in AppSheet. But yeah, that was really a stressful one. Okay, so now we have this done. We are creating our loop. Everything is working smoothly. Okay, so let's do for single month. I'm going to check narrow over here. For single month, I'm going to click this. I'm just going to click same. And then when I come here, good. So we have January over there. Good. So for single month, we are all good with that one as well. Good. So now what we want to do is now create our dashboard view, which is very simple. We just come here to views. Okay. We're going to create this. We're going to click here. We're going to call this, what is it? My new view. I'm going to call this monthly tracker. Okay. Now this is going to be a dashboard view, so we don't have any source. So where's the dashboard? Good. All right. Now we're going to bring in our tracker table. That's monthly tracker over here. Nice. There are a few other things we need to do. We need to bring in our years and then our staff names. Okay. But before we do that, we need to make sure we are hiding the related columns. So like this, IDs must go away, contribution ID must go away. So just year and the month. So we'll come to monthly tracker, come here, right? We're going to take ID away, contribution ID. So just name, year, and then the various months. Good. Now we also want to bring in the years. So we'll come here to views, come and then we'll click under ref, create a new view. We're going to call this years. Okay, now this is going to come from the years table. Good. Okay, now this is going to be gallery. We're going to use tiny like this. But then you see we have so many years. Some of them, well, doesn't relate to what we do. So we need to filter to make sure we're only taking the years that relate. So what we're going to do is we're going to filter this data to make sure we're only taking the related years that have data in them. So we're going to click create here, create a new slice. Let's see, years with data. Is that okay? Come here, simple, count related trackers, ID is greater than what? 0. Save, click done. And we have what, 2025 to 2028. Those are the ones with data, simple. So we have that in place. We're going to create another one. This time around, this is going to be staff list. This is staff. Good. Now this is going to come from the staff table. Also gallery over here. Good. Now the staff table here, it has pictures. When you select gallery, it will automatically put the pictures in there. So that doesn't help. We can use card and then we can say photo over here. And then we can take all these unnecessary stuff. So none. Over here, you can take the rule as well, say none. Like this. We can also take the picture of, so just the names. This also works, right? Good. So now in our dashboard view, where's our monthly tracker dashboard? Good. Okay, this is our monthly tracker dashboard. Let me call it dash. Good. Now dashboard view, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our years, and then we're going to bring in our staff. Okay, we already have a table called staff. Good. So I'm going to say staff list. Good. Now make this small. Make this also small. Good. So you have your years over here. Unfortunately, if we do this with card, it doesn't work, right? That's in the mobile view. It doesn't work. In the tab view, you don't really have a problem. It works. You see, you can have it this way. So you can have it this way. But then we also have to think about the mobile view, which is something I wasn't considering. So what we can do for the mobile view to make it compatible on both cases is we're going to change it back to gallery. But then because gallery needs a picture and this wouldn't work, what we'll do is we'll click here as in use slicer, and then we're going to create a special staff list. This is staff list. And then in this one, we're going to make sure we take off all pictures. So picture, yes, guy is gone. Placeholder also is gone. Image, show image is gone. Image check. Any image field should go. Good. That way we'll make sure we just have what only the names. Good. Now if we come to our dashboard view, then it looks something like this. Do you get it? Good. So we're using gallery, but with no pictures. That's the only way it's going to work. And then when you have your tablets, it's beautiful. Good. So now the last thing we want to do is instead of clicking it and opening a detail view, we want it to slice the data. So then we'll come here to our monthly tracker, and then we're going to activate this, which is what the interactive mode. So when you activate this, what it means is that when you select something, it's going to actually filter this. When I select rights, I have only rights. When I select year, I have only the year. You get it? Good. So this actually works. And then you have the data filtered in over here. Now we're almost done. The last thing we need to do is bring an action button over here to make sure that when we click on this action button, it takes us to the contribution form. And we make entry, we see directly here. Good. So what we're going to do is first, dashboards don't by default show action buttons. So you need to activate that. So we'll come here and then we'll come to view types. And then under dashboard, we say what? Show the action buttons. You get. Now we need to hide all these action buttons over here. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to come here to, you can either choose hide because maybe for years you don't want to add it, right? But for list or staff list, where is it? Yeah, staff list, you don't necessarily want to hide because maybe you want to use it in another view. So what you rather do is you want to come here to behavior. You want to say context view type is not equal to dashboard. So it should only show when the view type is not equal to dashboard. Right, good. That way, because we're currently in a dashboard, it's going to hide it. But then if you go to the staff table, you can still see the button over there. Yeah, good. This guy as well, monthly tracker. I don't want him showing over here, so I'm just going to hide this guy. Right, they are not going to enter directly into the monthly tracker. Good. Rather, I'm going to come here and add a new action button that will say go to contribution form. You get it? Now I'll say go to another view within the app, say link to view, and then this is going to be contribution form, like that. Click save, come here. Do you get it? So I have this in the tracker. Show primary. So this is it. And then I'm just going to pretend that it's an add button. So I'm going to do plus over here. And then here. And I'm going to have a display name of add. So let's save this. All right, so guys, we're almost done. When we click the plus button over here, we open the contribution form. We can select Alika over here, multiple months. We can say, okay, we want to do from 2025 to 2028. Yeah, and then we're just going to click this. I'm just going to click save. Good. And then it's just going to open the site. So you see 2025 all the way to 2028. Everything is in there from January to December 2028. So guys, this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to teach you in AppSheet. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, 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 please subscribe. Please join the channel. Please like, please share, please leave comments. This is how you help the channel grow. This is how you help me know that the things I'm putting out there are useful to you. Thank you very much. Keep your notifications on, that's your post notifications on, so that any new updates you receive them. Go through my videos, you find so many things that are useful. And at the end, please let me know what you think in the comment section. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye, guys.